Hi everyone, today I prepared very interesting game between David Navara and Asadli Vaugar. So let's quickly jump into the game. d4 was played by David. Knight f6 is the most popular move. We can also play d5, e6 or even f5, which is Dutch defense. So c4 here is the main move. Now g6 pointing towards Grunfeld or King's Indian. Knight c3. Yes, here d5 is Grunfeld defense. And bishop g7 is King's Indian defense. So Asadli plays this. Now e4, the main move. The threat is e5, so d6 has to be played. Now here we have many options like bishop d2, f3 same-ish variation in King's Indian, but the most common is this development of the knight on f3. So now black castled. Now bishop to e2, and here the main move is this e5, trying to break the center, and David just castled in this position. Also playable is this Petrosian variation, or we can even take, this is exchange variation, takes, here, let's go back, we had take here, black takes, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, and bishop to g5. But as I said, David castled. Now here we have two options, either to go knight to c6, knight to a6. Actually, Asadli played knight to a6, but let's see this line, knight to c6. Now the main move is this d5. Knight goes there to e7. Now b4 is bayonet attack in King's Indian. We can go like knight to h5 or rook to e1. That's the main line. Let's go a little bit back. Also here, instead of this before, this is also quite common, knight to e1. Now knight d7, bishop e3, f5, f3, f4, bishop to f2, g5, rook c1, knight g6, c5. Yeah, this is one of the variation, very interesting one. Knight takes, and here b4 is very good move. Knight a6, knight b5. So attacking here, and this is so-called neoclassical casual gambit, so quite interesting line also. But knight to a6 was playing the game. Now bishop to e3, reinforcing this pawn. Here we can play knight to g4, is quite a common move, but now just bishop g5 is the idea, and when he plays this, then we can go back, and white forced black to play f6. Also this knight looks kind of weird here. Now, but queen to e7 was played. Now d5, gaining some space in the center. Space is very important in the center, of course. Knight goes to g4. Now bishop to g5, f6, and here we have two main options, either to go back to c1, but in the game David played bishop to h4. Now g5, this is black plan to attack here on the king side. Bishop to g3, and here Asadli played really good move. f5, trying to open the center, open the rook. So David took, bishop takes f5, and here very good move by David, knight to d2, and the idea is to go here on e4 on a better square. So black prevents that by playing knight to f6. Now we cannot jump here with a white knight. So rook to e1 was played. Now here the best move is queen to f7, but knight to c5 is slightly inaccuracy because b4 was played by David, very good move. And now we have two options, either to go here or either to go to d3. So let's consider this move, just knight c to d7, knight b5, we attack here, but just queen d8, defending everything, c5, d5, d6 is very good, cd, and now knight d6. And there's huge pressure here, and actually white is winning. But of course, here in this variation, after c5, we shouldn't take, but play a6. So that's the point of this variation. But here, interestingly, Asadli didn't go for d7, and he went for knight to d3. And now, why is this inaccuracy? And now you can pause the video and try to find the best move for white to play. Yes, David finds really brilliant move, queen to b1. Looks quite unnatural, pinning the queen. But actually this move is very good. Because now this knight is lost and white will get 2 pieces for a rook. Also rook is hanging, yes. And why is important to play queen to b1, not queen to c2? Looks like the same. But let's consider this move, queen to c2, because now e4 is very strong, protecting the knight. And if we take here the knight, now pawn takes, and we cannot capture the queen, because now we also lose our queen. But notice in this position, if queen were on b1, that black cannot recapture the queen. I'll show you here this variation. So now e4 doesn't work because we take, pawn takes, and queen is lost. And as you can see, black cannot capture the queen on c2. But after this move, knight to e1 was played. But now we just grab a bishop. a5, yes, also this knight is doomed. If we take here, then we just take, and black doesn't have compensation. So he desperately tries for counterattack, a5. But now very good move. We can even take here and ab, and knight jumps here. But David calmly play b5, not giving any counterplay. So very good move, practical one. And here knight to h5 is the best move, but Asadli plays knight to d7. And now you can again pause the video and try to find the best move for white. The only one move wins, others are not that good. Where to go with this queen? Either to b1 or where? Because if we move our queen here, now knight can escape. So that's the problem. But also notice that queen is under attack, and if we go here to b1, now e4 is quite strong, because when we take a knight, now we also lose a bishop and also probably a rook. Not rook, but black just returns here and black is better. So where to go? Yes, and David finds really nice move, queen to e6 check. This is very important, we check. Because now black takes and we take a pawn, and as you can see, this knight is hanging and also this knight is hanging. So knight to c2 was played, but just very nice rook to c1, attacking the knight. Again, this knight is also attacked. So knight to d4 was played, but now we just take on d7. Knight takes, but luckily knight was protecting the bishop. And now rook a to d8, and as you can see, white has 2 pieces for a rook and also better pawn structure. This pawn will be decisive, as you will see. Knight e4 was played, h6, here c5. Actually, computer suggests this knight to c3, rook takes and rook to d1, but the line is quite long, so we won't dive deep into it. So c5 was played, again practical move, threatening to play this and connect the pawns. So rook d7, but now c6 is very strong, bc6, and we take here. And as you can see, this pawn is very well advanced and this pawn is weak on c7. So rook d7, knight goes here to c3, rook b8, now f3, closing the file, rook to b4, knight d5, knight jumps here to beautiful square, attacking this pawn, rook d4, now just knight to e3. Here in this position, yes, white has a really beautiful move, knight to b6, and if rook to b4, we can go here and knight is very strong here. Also notice that here we cannot take because c7 and c8 will promote to a queen. So here knight to e3 was played, rook to d3, now rook c3, rook d4, rook c2, rook d3, and finally king goes here to f2. So now just it's all a matter of technique. Rook f8, king e2, rook d4, bishop to e1. Yes, this rook will be soon trapped. Rook a8, knight c3, g4, knight b5, And I think after this move, actually black resigned. So we are capturing this pawn. Or even here, I think it resigned. So yes, and this one will promote. So very beautiful game played by David, amazing player, very strong grandmaster. In his best times, he was over 2700. And I even remember a funny story by Yasser Serawan, remembering David, how deeply he could calculate as a young kid. So inspiring player. And guys, thank you for watching as always, and please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye.